Where are we at?
Uh,
Oh no.
AspiRE landing page.
And,
Beasts. The AspiRE beasts.
our new theme music.
Oh yeah.
Bogia. All right. I'm Charles Anthony Clark, your real estate investment broker, here with another bright idea. I got Devin. Go
Hey.
ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Well, I'm glad to be here again. Hi, I'm Devin, co-founder of AspiRE, here with Charles, your real estate investment broker. And you all know he's got a bright idea, so stick to it.
Hey, we all got to have a gimmick.
Hey, it's a good one. I like it.
So, as I always like to do, even though I don't have it up, because it's the monthly meeting, so I normally would have it up on the podcast. But I always want to give a shout out to Next Home My Way for um, giving me the opportunity to start all this stuff. Even though I'm not in the studio today, um, that's where my license is hung up. So um, just always want to give a thanks to them. And so any agent out there or broker who's looking to join a brokerage and um, want to build their career or get that new start or start. So if you're aspiring to be an agent, it's a great place to be. Or if you're a broker, definitely a place where you can go and take a team and grow. So always want to give a big shout out. So if you are interested, you can reach out to Angel, the broker owner, Jose, or Carlos, or myself. I like I said, I have my license hung up there. Um, and then I always like to give a shout out to my team and what I'm building as a licensed broker, raise the standard, and want to just share the three mottos that you know defines who we are, and that's one, raising the standard of living. If the deal doesn't make our client's life better, our life better in the community, we don't want to be a part of it. That's the standard we are setting and wanting to do in southeastern Wisconsin and hopefully soon in other states. Devin,
Soon to
uh,
be in other states.
soon we'll be in other states. Second one is be better about being better. Um, this is something I got back when I was a quarterback in high school, and my coach told me to stop trying to throw for 40 yards and just get 5 yards and get the first down. So it just reminded me that I always try to get better each play, each down, and that's part of one of the things of move the chains. That's my football background that I like to incorporate with some of the posts and things of that nature. And third is, what's your legacy? Like, what is your North Star? Why are you doing this? I always bring up my little one as someone that drives me to want to build this real estate portfolio, but also just want to leave a legacy, right? And so those are, our, if you want to say, our North Star to raise the standard real estate and what we're doing. And um, I'll let Devin share anything he want to share or call a shout out to anyone before we officially get started.
Yeah, I want to make a shout out to Victory Title and Bill Wester.
Yeah.
You know, fantastic contact. He's going to help me close out this property sale I'm working through right now. As I'm liquidating a small unit portfolio, so the last property, and we just got it under contract. So exciting to get that one out of the weeds and start working on these bigger deals.
Awesome. Well, as Bill, as you brought up from Victory Title, is the owner, he spoke at our meeting 2 months ago.
Yep.
And that's the whole point of Aspire, right? It's building the community of real estate investors, because Bill is also a real estate investor and he also owns a title company. He's doing development, so he's just been a wealth of knowledge, and been so helpful. Um, One of my other partners, we're looking at development. He's helping us walk through the title process of, buying land, because he's been through it. So it's like just been able to have someone with that knowledge that can be in the deal and somewhat be, in your ear of making sure you're making the right decisions is why we do this, right? With us both being brokers, um, that's just one of the facets of being able to assist people. Like you were talking about Dwayne, one of our members, and you're helping him purchase. And
Yeah.
yeah, and just the what he's going through, right? And what he needs to learn and from what he shared with you. And that's what we're trying to build here with Aspire. So I know I kind of went on a tangent there, but it was just um, an opportunity
No,
just
it's
to,
all good.
yeah, opportunity just to share like why we are, why we put this together, is to connect people that can help us in deals, right?
It's what it's
We're
all
doing
about.
this because we want to do deals, right?
Yeah, and we want to help more people than just ourselves.
Yes.
Now, part of what we were discussing before we went live with this conversation was one of our members, Dwayne. We've got a couple offers in on some duplexes, and we were talking about some due diligence items. And one of the things the seller came back was, they wanted to know if we could come up in price, but they weren't even aware that their building had all of this maintenance needed and all this damage that was done, which to me seems kind of crazy. That how do you not know one of your balconies is rotting off? But I guess people aren't as observant, and I suppose if you're not consistently looking for those things, it's easy to miss
No,
them.
I think what it is what I recently talked about, and I think in a few last episodes with our Aspire Beast Council podcast. Hobbyists. We have a lot of
Yeah,
hobbyist investors, right? And
yeah,
to me, that's what that is. Just because you own real estate doesn't mean,
you know what you're
obviously
doing.
you're not an investor, because you are an investor. But the same thing with someone owning stocks. Just because you own stocks don't make you a stockbroker, right?
Well,
Um,
yeah,
and that's the same thing in real estate. Just because you own real estate don't make you necessarily a real estate investor. I put them in that category. You're an investor who invests in real estate, and everyone's not a
Un,
great investor. You know what I'm
I
saying?
like
And
I like to call them unsophisticated investors.
I mean, you just, that it sounds like you're uneducated.
I know, but that's kind of the idea, right? Is
Well, that is they're uneducated in real estate business, and
and
or
everyone's got to start there. I mean, that's totally fine to be an unsophisticated investor. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a dig on anyone,
well,
but it is a tell of someone who invests in real estate or invests in anything, that they kind of know what they're doing and they maybe have an idea, but they don't understand the nuance. They don't understand how to evaluate things. They don't know how to look at it like a business. They don't know how to scale or, excuse me, manage a portfolio. They don't know how to coordinate networks and different contractors and capital partners. And, there's a lot of different facets that come with scaling a real estate portfolio that isn't just about a duplex. Don't get me wrong, buying a duplex is fantastic. It's a great way to get into real estate and to even scale real estate. I've got some friends who that's all they buy is duplexes and triplexes. They've got a portfolio of a couple hundred units now, all just duplex, triplex properties. And they do great. They do fantastic. That's kind of the interesting thing about real estate is you don't have to just pick one asset type.
yeah.
There's a ton of different ones out there and they all perform in their own way. So finding what's comfortable for you.
And I think you brought up an important point, and what we're sharing is also having a good team. We're picking on that seller, but he also hired an agent that doesn't know,
Yeah.
right? And
And
so now you have two people who are unsophisticated being in a transaction that, oh, I got an email. um, that are both unsophisticated, and now you have this sophisticated individual trying to negotiate with two unsophisticated people who are trying to sell something as if it's just a regular property. And this is the point that I try to make in a sense of, um, people are not buying properties; they're buying businesses.
You're buying
And
the cash flow. Yep.
yeah, and you're buying the
Yeah.
future cash flow, and for them to be like, well, even though that balcony is broke, it's still worth this, and it's like, absolutely not.
It's not, because I got to fix it, because I want my tenants to live in a safe place that they love, that they can call home, that they can care for, that they want to stay long term. I got to put the money into it now. So if I'm paying you all the money, I can't put any money into this property. It's coming out of my pocket every month. And now it can't even take care of itself. It's like shooting yourself in the foot. It doesn't
So
make any sense.
in this situation, since this is what we're, I guess, trying to promote, and what would be one thing you would try to get across to that agent or that seller of, hey, this is how you should be valuing this, right?
So, and here's the caveat to that. As I've been in commercial real estate as a professional, sophisticated professional now, for at least a year, coming up on my 5th year in the industry in 8 days. I know it's coming up quick. It's cool.
Happy
I've kind of
anniversary.
learned that you can't explain how to understand something to someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. It's kind of like trying to explain some mathematical formula to someone who's never seen multiplication before.
Okay.
They're not going to make sense of it. Now, what you can do though, and what I found very helpful, is you break it, you meet them at their level, you meet them at where they're at, and you simplify things. You break it down in a way that makes sense for them and that they can rationalize where you're coming from. So instead of going, hey, you've got this 15-unit property, rents are only $600 in the area, I can't pay you $120,000 a unit. I can't support that, because of XYZ number, because the NOI doesn't support the capitalization rate cost and the lending cost and the cost to borrow. Like, they're going to go, okay, great, that means nothing to me, I don't care. And then you get nowhere in the conversation. But what you can do is you go, hey, if I pay you $1.5 million for this property, right, and it's only making me $8,000 a month, it doesn't even cover my mortgage. My mortgage is more than $8,000 a month right now. So how could you expect me to buy this property that's supposed to be?
But Devin, that's what it's worth, and you should put more money down so your mortgage is not as high. That's what you should do, right? Because you're a smart investor. You should have more money to put down, and then your mortgage payment wouldn't be that high.
So that's a difficult question, where that's not that they don't understand that it's not worth it. They know it's not worth it, and they're trying to convince you it is. And that's where you go, no, my return on investment goes to zero if I have to put 60% down for this property to even positively cash flow. That's not good math or good money management. That's lunacy. Well, and then I like to ask them too. Typically, it's residential agents too that I deal with this more. Commercial brokers are just as bad. A lot of them don't know what they're doing either, but it's less bad in that side of the industry. But I was telling them, I go, let's say you're buying a house, right? You want a $250,000 house. Well, you can only afford $1,000 a month in a mortgage. You're going to put $150,000 down on this house, or are you just going to go buy a $120,000 house and put $20,000 down? And then they go, oh, the second option? Exactly. Now you're getting it. See, it's not that, like, yeah, I could pay 60% down and I could raise that money from multiple investors, but then there's no return. They're wasting all their money. That at that point, it's not a deal. At that point, it's a money pit. Sure, maybe, 20 years down the road, if you double down on paying off the debt and the principal really, really quickly, then yeah, your investors might get a decent return in 15 years. But who wants a 6% return year over year for 15 years? I could put it in a fucking money market account or a low risk stock and do the same or better, and I don't have to do anything. Literally don't have to do anything. That's passive. It's why it doesn't get great returns. It's okay returns. They're not 6%. It's not bad, but I'd rather have a 15% return, like we're looking at for this Iowa property. So
Okay.
that's it. It's one of those conversations where either it'll click that what they're saying doesn't make sense, or they already know what they're saying doesn't make sense, and they're just trying to upsell a property to get a higher commission. And they're going to hope that some beginner or some trust fund kid or someone with a ton of extra money who just wants to sink it into something to make some monthly cash flow is going to come by and snatch it up. And it's going to sit and it's going to sit and it's going to sit. And that's where, it sucks if I'm representing someone in the deal, because I can't just go to the seller and go, hey, your agent's kind of fucking you. It's a bad etiquette, and it's not the decent thing to do. But if I'm the buyer, I'll go right around the agent. If this guy's going to be an idiot and screw over the seller and cut out a bad deal, I'm like, hey, look, your seller's not going to sell this property at 1.5 for a long time at the very least. I'll offer you 800,000. That's what it's actually worth. This is how the property cash flows. Here's why I'm offering you 800,000, and we can close it without anyone else, just me and you, private sale right now.
I'll just wait because I know it's what it's worth. You just don't see it yet.
Yep. And that's the thing. And then it's a conversation of, well, then they go, well, my agent said it's worth 1.5. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. And to someone who doesn't know what they're doing, maybe it is. But I'm not going to pay you.
What are the bases of that, right? It's
yeah. Well, and then they go, well, I can't accept that. I'm like, okay, goodbye. I don't need your property. There's a billion others out there that I can look at. If I got to hold my money in a money market account for another 6 months, oh no, big deal. I would rather it sit and grow slightly slower for 6 months and then grow really well for 7 years than grow really bad for 7 years.
Yeah. And I think the uniqueness of our point of views, because we have our license and we're seeing the negotiations where some investors might see this, one every so often on their deals, but when you're sending offers on a weekly basis and you're engaging in this and you're somewhat having the same conversation with 7 out of the 10 agents, you can understand the lack of
understanding.
Because I just went through it myself. Duplex has been on the market. We did go, I think, kind of like you said, we went 30,000 under because it was on the market for 20 plus some days. There's some work that needs to be done to it, but it's in decent shape. But it's been sitting, so we ran our numbers. We can justify it at 200,000, right? It wasn't we're lowballing it just to lowball it. I honestly felt like the max was really 215. Now, however, my client is someone who's also wanting a house hack, so
it changes the numbers a little bit. Yeah.
So we could afford to pay a little bit more because he's living there and he just necessarily needs someone to basically lower his expenses, right? But he also gets to get a duplex, and the beauty of this I'll share later. But how to put this deal together, what he did, but just to talk about this deal, we eventually came up to their number, but because of his situation, we needed them to pay seller credits, and it was 6,900
for 6,900.
For 6,900. So we gave them the number, but we said you got to pay the seller credits, and they was like, no, we need the whole 230, and it just blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got your number, but because you have to pay seller credit, the deal doesn't make sense. And I just started thinking, I was talking with someone else, is like, if your profit margin is that thin, why are you in doing this? Like, why are you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you doing this?
I can tell you why. They bought it and didn't know what they were doing. 100%. And they're hoping someone else is going to do the same thing to buy them out of the hole they got in.
So now you rather sit on the market continually, and you had your number, which to me, being an investor, it's more valuable for me to have that lump sum money now and I can go redeploy it. To me, you don't have somewhere where you want to put that money. So you're like,
Dollar today
what?
is worth
So
more than
like
a dollar
again,
tomorrow.
you're not treating this like a business. What business was like, we're finna get a lump sum of money and we don't know what we're gonna do with it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you got Microsoft who has $1 trillion in there, but they know what they're doing with some of that money. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just sitting there like, oh, well, what are we?
We just got $1 billion. What do we do with this? Like, no, they already have known how they're going to deploy that cash when it comes in because they know it's coming in at some point. So we already have stuff in the pipeline ready to go.
So yeah, so
Or
it just
we're building up to things, to deploy more cash, to deploy more capital. That's why all of these massive companies, these massive organizations, use debt all the time. They use it the right way, and so many people use it the wrong way.
yeah. And I mean, I think a lot of people are afraid of that too, right? And that's
Oh
the
yeah.
unsophisticatedness of what you're in,
Well,
right?
and
I know,
I'll give you a prime example of people too afraid to use debt. This property that we finally got under contract to sell, it was on market for 30,000 below market value. 30 grand below market value to sell it quickly. Had over 100 tours at the property. One offer. So many people loved it. So
yep.
many people loved it. They loved the area, loved the place. Maybe some people didn't like the paint color, but so many people loved it. Not one of them felt like they could make an offer. Not one. And do you not get a pre-approval? Did your agent not set you up for success? It's all these factors and all these variables. And like, I even started asking a bunch of questions. I'm like, hey, what did your buyer agent do for you? And they're like, I don't know.
Well, I
Like,
mean
oh, okay, that's great.
that's even in our industry of real estate agents and brokers, right? It is a business, right? And a lot of people
Yeah.
don't treat it as such.
Well, and that's fine. And me having my broker's license and things like that, I've been in this industry for years now, but I haven't been doing brokerage for years now.
Yep.
And it's part of that was why I want to learn about this side of the industry. That's why I decided to take it on and get my license and do all these things. I also realized it's not really my thing.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love helping people, and that's why I still kind of stick some time into it because I can help, our members and other people and friends and family with, their transactions and help them with my professional experience. But it's not really my jam.
Yeah.
I could do it very well, but there's other things that I think are a better investment of my time than if this was going to be a career for me, makes perfect sense, but it's not going to be.
Yeah, I mean, everyone plays their role, right? I mean, even in our situation, we're not doing the same things, even though we both
Yep.
have our broker license.
Yep.
Even in that situation, like you were, I guess how I explain you is you do everything 5 and up, where I do 1 to 20. But there is a limit to me of where I want to deal with, where you want to go beyond that, and
Hmm.
um, but even from that standpoint, like even in those roles, those things we can do differently. And when you are building a real estate investment business or just a real estate business in general, um,
Yep.
you got people doing different roles, right? And
Hmm.
um, you want to be in real estate. But it's just I guess
What
like that book. Where do you want
you
to
want to
sit
be?
at?
Yep.
On the bus in that real estate business.
Yeah.
Um, and now you're finding out like um, you are wanting to go get your law license for real estate, correct?
Yep. Yeah. So I'll get my over the next couple of years. I'll get my Juris Doctorate for business and real estate law,
Okay. Well,
which is
congratulations on
exciting.
that journey.
It's going to be a lot of work.
A long one, right? How many more years then you got to put in to get that?
3.5 is the
Okay.
whole process, but I'll finish there with my master's in business administration and my doctorate in business and real estate law. plus side to the university that I'll be getting it from, I won't have to take the bar,
Okay.
which
Nice.
is huge. I mean, it's a major thing. So I don't have to wait to be able to practice. I can start practicing the day after I graduate if I so choose to.
Okay.
And you know, benefits to anyone who's interested in going into the military. It's paying for most of it, which is fantastic.
Okay.
No, so shout out to the Marine Corps.
Hey,
Thanks for paying for my education.
thanks for serving.
Any day, anytime.
Um,
Would do it again in a heartbeat too. Uh,
well, I mean, it's people like the Marine Corps is why we can sit here and be, dealing with real estate because we live in a country that
you have
we're
the freedom
able to
to do
do
so.
it, right? Yeah.
No,
So
yeah, no, and I think a lot of people don't understand, especially about the military. I actually just had a conversation with a buddy of mine. He's been kind of aimless the last year, newly single, kind of living on his own, trying to figure his life out, and doesn't know what he wants to do. And he's like, I'm thinking about joining the military. I'm like, that's not a bad idea. Pay is all right, but the skills and the connections and the value that you get from it outside of monetary is exponentially more. Just learning 1% of the discipline the military provides, the skills, the social camaraderie, the mental and social resilience that it helps foster. If anyone listening to this is considering it, reach out. I'm happy to talk to you about it.
I mean, it's it provides structure, right? And I think a lot
Mhm.
of people, like you said, if you're aimless, that's probably a great place to put yourself is to go into
Yep.
a very structured situation so that yeah, maybe you need someone to tell you what time to go to bed and what time to wake up and doing
Yeah.
other things.
I know a
Um,
lot of people that need that.
yeah,
And, yeah, does it suck having someone yell at you for 3.5 months while you're getting retaught the basics? Sure. But get
but that's
over
gonna
it.
happen anywhere. If you're at a job, you're gonna get.
If you've never been yelled at in your entire life, you're too confrontation
You're
avoidant.
too timid, and someone should yell at
You
you.
need to be yelled at because, believe it or not, it's actually good for you. Now, obviously, to a degree, right? It has to make sense. There has to be a lesson behind it. There has to be purpose behind it. If someone's just screaming at you to scream at you because they don't know you, okay, that doesn't do you any good. That doesn't help build your
it,
resilience.
it wears thin quick, right?
Yeah. And it's like, okay, I don't know you. You're just some random person on the sidewalk screaming at me. I don't care about that. But, when you're in an environment that you're trying to be more disciplined and trying to be more structured, more focused, more directional, and having someone who is hard on you is actually helpful. Because then they're gonna force you into this lane that you're already trying to be in. Yeah, it's uncomfortable and you might get mad and you might get butthurt and upset, whatever. Get over it. Bite your tongue, swallow your pride for a while. Let them guide you. Let them funnel you into that laneway so you can learn how to stay in it for yourself. So then you can appreciate it, and then they don't need to yell at you. You just do the things you need to do, and you don't get yelled at. It's great.
I mean, it's life lessons, and I mean, I feel like what you're explaining is kind of part of what we're building, right? Is helping
Yeah,
people get in their lanes, helping people get some structure.
yeah.
Like the people we were talking about, I feel like obviously they're missing something because
We're all missing something.
yeah, and
There's so many things we don't know, and you don't know what you don't know.
yeah,
There's
I mean, I feel like I've learned so much trying to build a lot of this stuff that we're doing that I didn't realize
yeah,
that and I feel like we're all on this learning journey and even being more disciplined and finding out our lane, like you're saying, like you went
student
down
life
one
now.
discipline and now you're switching it up. I felt
Yeah,
the same way. Um, working for a nonprofit in their like real estate division, like that wasn't I wasn't close enough, even though I was in real estate,
yeah.
helping developers. I just felt like I was missing out because I couldn't actually be developer. I was supporting it, and
Yeah.
you realize like, hey, no, I don't want to support it. You want to play a different role in it.
I want to
Um,
do it.
yeah, and I wouldn't. I wouldn't downplay the role I had because
No.
it wasn't like, oh, this role is, it was like, no, the role support what developers are
That's
trying to accomplish.
that's the thing I think a lot of people misunderstand or misrepresent when they talk about, different roles in organizations and industries. It's not that one role is more important than the other.
Yeah,
You need all of them for it to work, or it doesn't
yeah,
work. I can be the world's best developer, but if I don't have a construction crew, I can't build anything.
I know.
Can't
That's
develop
that's
anything.
why I get so frustrated. Like, your gurus, they're like, you're a sucker if you work for someone as they have employees.
Yeah. And it's like, no, everyone has a role to play, and every role is different for everyone, and it fits different people. Like for me, right? I don't have the patience or the complacency to work some low end 9 to 5 until I'm 65. That doesn't suit me. It doesn't work for me. I like to have a pathway forward. I like to have a plan, an action, a goal, a target. Things that I can actually strive for and that push me and challenge me. It's one of the reasons I went into the Marine Corps and did
Yep.
one of the most complicated jobs out there. So to me, working 9 to 5, that's death by boredom. I, I'll do it, and I'll do
and
it
and it's
for a
boredom
while,
to you, right? But
but it's
because
not for everyone.
I know I want to build a company, and I know that I want someone who wants a 9 to 5, right? I want
Yeah.
someone who
I
can.
fully respect anyone who wants to stay in a 9 to 5. I mean, a good buddy of mine, that's all he wants. He's a plumber. He wants to work his 9 to 5. He wants to go home and play video games and drink beer. That's all he wants to do. That's what he wants to do till he dies. And that's what makes him happy. And I'm happy for him. That's fantastic. You
Yep.
got to find the thing that suits you,
Yes.
and don't get down on yourself or compare yourself to other people in different roles, because that doesn't do you any good. They're not the same thing. It's like trying to compare an apple to a spaceship. You know, both have their uses and both do different things and both are equally valuable.
Yeah.
They're not the same, which is fine. So I see so many people like, oh, there should never be billionaires, there should never be this, there should never be that, or everyone should be the same. It's like, no, that's a terrible idea. If
Terrible.
everyone's the same, nothing gets done and nothing
Yep.
happens. So then, instead of disparaging where other people are at, figure out where you want to be at and how you get there. For me, right, I want to have 1,000 units under management in the next 13 years. Well, I know what I got to do to get there. I got to buy 1,000 fucking units in the next 13 years. So how do I do that? I got to figure that out. Now, obviously, being in the industry for 5 years now, having built a very small portfolio of small unit properties, I have an idea, but I also have mentors. I have people who have reached that mark and gone beyond it that I can talk to and ask, hey, how did you do this? Can I buy you a coffee and just pick your brain? Can I grab you lunch and pick your brain? Find those people in those roles that you want to be in their position. And the best people to ask.
Yeah. And I feel like, to bring this full circle, is that's what we're kind of trying to build with Aspire.
Yeah.
I know one of the reasons why I was running a little late was I was leaving a meeting to talk with some developer partners, and
Yeah.
I feel like um, that's where we're going, right? And that's where we want to take this. Um,
And I know you want to get more into the development space, but what have you figured out what role you want to do yet?
as in everything, I want to be the COO. So, but and I feel like what the actual developer is, that's kind of what they do. They bring everyone together.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to be, um, I would say honestly the managing partner on developments. I guess in all honesty is probably like the project manager. Like that's kind of how I
Yeah.
see myself. Is just I'm just doing it at the 40,000 foot because I'm starting the company and things of that nature. But even
Yep.
if we build it up to my 524 units I want and your 1,000, um, I would want to be. I want to be able to go talk to the person who's pouring the cement or the foundation,
Yeah.
and then I want to be able to go have a meeting with the construction president and making sure that, or the banker that we're getting the money from, president, and making sure all that's done, and being able to go talk to the investor who's um, using private funding to help us get the deal done. So that's what I see myself as, is the one that, I don't know a door frame, like all that stuff and the measurements that is necessary, but I know
Yeah.
I can hire the right person who cares enough to make sure that we have the right door frame and everything like that, and bringing everything together. So that's how I see myself in that, and that's kind of like the role that I'm playing now with what I'm doing as a broker. Like, I just recognize that people need people to bring things together. So like I always felt like buying the property is the beginning of everything, right? And I think a lot of people see that as like, oh, that's the huge accomplishment. Like, no, you just started your job, right? So
Yep.
I felt like
And don't get me
helping.
wrong, it is a huge
Yeah.
accomplishment.
So
it's just the first step of
yeah.
of the next huge accomplishment.
So I guess like as I shared, I was a quarterback. So like that's kind of how I see myself. But like I know people see quarterbacks as the person maybe leading everything, but I always felt like I was just trying to accomplish what my coach wanted. So like I always felt like I was the person behind the person and the vision and things of that nature. So like that's the same role that I want to do in
Hmm.
developing is um, I don't, my name don't need to be on the building, but I do want to sign one of the bricks. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I get
uh,
you.
so yeah, so like that's the role I want to play. Like today, like I felt like who I was meeting with were capital partners, but they also want to be operators. So it's kind of like, okay, met with them. Now I can bring my partner in, have them meet, and so like I'm already doing my job, right? I'm connecting people, bringing people together. Now it's just about finding the land, finding the right project that's going to connect all of us, and then off to the races. So just being at the early part, the early stages of this path that we're on, that we've been, you know, coming together, because me and you started building the education for Aspire months ago when it was cold,
Now we're coming up on a year now.
coming up on a year. So like, it's all been part of this journey. Like, I feel like the knowledge that we have and the experience that we already have in our background, we have a lot to offer, but it also helped us become better at what we're doing. So then it just became this self-fulfilling, you know, thing that just kind of fed on itself, right? It was like, oh, we're putting this education together to put all our knowledge together. And it's like, as we were doing it and as we were, building it, we learned new things that we didn't, or it solidified something that we already had. And so it was um, just a great opportunity to just be on this path, right? I just feel like I'm better at my job because of what we've been doing, what we've been building, and yeah,
It
man,
all helps.
yeah, man. It's been a year. It's been a year of just
Learn trial and error, trial by
yeah,
fire, process and elimination. Yeah.
and
How
building
many ways can you
that, like
stumble
you
and
said,
come
that
back from?
community, like just the fact that we were consistently meeting, every Sunday and then on some Wednesdays to get this stuff done and giving ourselves a self deadline, and like we did a project together. And I think some people, even though it might have been on that small scale, like we trust each other in so many different areas now, just because we started with nothing and now have something that we can actually
Point to.
sell to the public, right? And so a lot of people can't say that, and
Yeah.
I think a lot of people avoid those things. I'm grateful because you help create another stream of income, right? And um,
Eventually. Yeah.
I can honestly say a lot of my friends I can't say that for, right? And I got to think about calling them
Yep.
friends.
Yeah. And, I think something that I've especially been playing around with the last couple of years too is there's levels to friendship. you know, I have many different friends at many different stages and many different levels. Care about them all the same and equally, but I have to meet them at different places and different levels. Like,
Yeah.
when with me and you have the ambition and the aspirations to continue up with me into the things that we're trying to accomplish. But a lot of my buddies are not looking to go beyond,
A certain
work a
level.
9 to 5, buy a house, have a family. And that's fantastic. I'm happy for them. And I still want them, I still value their friendship, but in a different way.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't, because I'm building this thing that I haven't accomplished yet, it's going to be my number one priority. So, unfortunately, that means the people who aren't building it with me, you get less of my time. Is
Yeah.
that going out for a beer with you guys is just not a priority for me. Going bar hopping is not a priority for me. I don't want to or need to do that. Now, do I still want to maintain those relationships and still spend time with those friends? Yeah. Once in a while,
You're just doing those things less often, right?
yeah. And a lot of the time, people see that as like, oh, you don't want to be friends with me anymore. That's what it is. And it's like, no, man, I have other
I,
priorities. You
yeah.
look,
I have to adjust it.
and sometime, and this is for all of anybody who's listening to this, who's just getting started or trying to figure out where to put those boundaries at. You decide the boundaries. You set them, and either they respect them or they don't. But you have to hold firm in your boundaries. If you don't, people will break them down, and the things you're trying to accomplish will be harder and harder and harder to achieve because you've got more and more people standing in front of you that you got to try and walk through now because you couldn't keep the boundaries lanes up.
Um, I think that's a great segue because we're making some changes, and that's part of the reason why we're making those changes.
Yep.
Um, People standing in the way of progress, and us needing to make different decisions.
Yep.
So that's part of the reason why we are live with this one. And I mean, honestly, self-serving, uh,
To a
because
degree.
I mean, partly, I'm saying in the sense of half of my clients are out of state, and
Mhm.
so having a online version of this, I
Oh
think
yeah.
is the direction that I do want to move.
The thing that I was
Aspire
trying to
to.
explain, and I think it'll help sum up your point a little bit more concisely too, because I've been working on this statement for a while. So many people ask me all the time, why do you want 1,000 units? Why do you want to make that much money? And I'm like, well, it's really hard to do more when you don't have very much. So I
Yeah,
was telling them, I'm able to do more if I have more, right? So
yeah,
I have to build more. So if I want to help more people, if I want to, help the kid down the street buy his first investment property, if I don't have $50,000 for him to put as a down payment to start his first investment career in, how am I going to help him? I
yeah,
can't. So sure, it might be self-serving, but for a greater purpose. Yeah, we're building this education, we're selling it to the public, we're building, the AspiRE game, we're building, the Beast Council and the podcast and the socials and all these videos and all this content for you guys to sell it to you guys, not so we can just personally get rich and enjoy a bunch of free money. If we wanted to do that, there's much easier and less time
easier ways to do
but
it.
we can build a community that can come together, and a community that works together, grows together, thrives together. So the more we have, the more we can do, and that's the ultimate goal. You know, that's what we've been trying to, and will continue to keep trying to until we achieve it here at Aspire. Is create more for more people.
No, and I know I was saying it tongue in cheek, but in reality, we do want to do more. We're always going to have our local events, and
Oh
we're going
yeah.
to make sure that's arranged in the future, and we're going to have other activities. I know we haven't promoted it much, but having the update of the project that I'm working on. Obviously, if you've been following our videos,
Yep.
I've been doing that. I got a new one for today that I need to upload. So we're doing things. We're doing big things, and you got the project in Iowa. I
Yep.
did do the deal analysis
How'd that go, by the way?
yesterday on the
I
deal.
wasn't able to. I wasn't able to jump into that live webinar. I had
No,
a couple of other things going on, but
well,
how'd
we
it go?
were able to be tough, and so there are some things that I probably will send your way that you
Great.
can answer for us, because that's the whole point, right? We just don't want to co-sign stuff without pointing out some things. So as us running through it through the AspiRE calculator, it asks some questions. So for example, um, just because you gave the amount we were making, it was like, well, we need to actually see the rent roll. So,
Mhm.
and that was something that I had when I ran it through it. So that was one of the things that I'll probably ask you for, just to be able to rerun it. But
Yep.
um, just but that's what we're doing, right? That's a real deal you're working on. That's a real deal you got under contract, um, and that's what we want to be about. Is that we're doing real deals. You're working with a real client right now, putting in real offers. I got a few clients that I'm putting in real offers. You have a property under contract that you recently got an accepted offer. So we're not playing. we're not we're not talking about this. We're actually in the game. We're
It's not.
actually
It's not
um,
theoretical.
it's not theoretical. So the things that we're putting out is real live action, and we want to. It's not even that we just wanted you to be part of the journey. We want you on your own journey, right? And
We want to
um,
be part of your journey.
yeah, and we want to be a part of your journey, right? Because everything that we do offer is offering to assist investors on their journey from from 0 to 1,000, right?
Or more.
Or more, because we want people around us who want to do more. Because I want
Dream
to go on
big.
someone else's yacht. I don't want to. I don't want to buy a yacht, so I want to go on someone else's yacht. So
I don't know if I want a yacht, but I wouldn't mind a nice boat.
I want a boat. I realize I want a boat, but I don't want to take care of it. But what I decided is I'm going to Airbnb a lake house and let it have a boat, and then part of the expenses is someone else maintaining it.
Yeah, one of the things that we'll be doing, probably about 4, maybe 5 years from now, we'll be expanding the portfolio out to North Carolina. So I want to have
Oh, I used to
some,
live there. You already. That's one of the places I want
yeah.
properties. So
So have some
sign me
oceanside
up.
properties to Airbnb, and then enjoy, in the spring and fall.
North Carolina. I like St. Louis. I think either San Diego or Arizona. Um, so that's one.
I
That's
wouldn't go
four.
in San Diego.
Oh, I mean, I've been there. It's. I want.
The area is nice, but the laws in the government aren't.
I don't care. However, I got to figure it out. However, I got to figure it out. If it's even one property, even though I want more, even if it's just one. But
Yeah.
um,
Okay. Well, I'll look forward to seeing that. I avoid California if I can help it. I'm not a huge fan of the state. I've lived there. I've been there.
I'm not going there
Too
for the state.
crowded.
I'm going there for the weather.
I'm going to North Carolina. Weather's better.
um, and I want two international. I know
Yeah.
Brazil. I want part of it, but I gotta
Well,
Mexico. Maybe Mexico.
Puerto Vallarta.
Puerto. Dreams,
Hey,
man. Big
uh,
dream.
when Costa Rica and Puerto Rico are selling cheap properties right now.
That's the United States, but I do want to go there. So that's probably number five, and either one or one of the 5 or 6 is Puerto Rico or Costa Rica.
Yeah, Airbnbs are doing really good there right now, just because there's like it's U.S. standard laws around it, but it's not hyper restrictive, and property prices are still really low. Tourist destination, so people are doing very well out there right now with Airbnbs.
I think what we need to do after this one is put a post out of voting that you should co-host some of the Inspired Beast Council podcasts with me. I think this was a great hit tonight with me and
Yeah,
you just talking
ripping it
real
off the
estate.
dome. Yeah,
No, there was no script to tonight.
we no, we don't usually have a script unless we have a purposeful educational thing to
Yeah.
make.
Uh,
Typically, we'll go right off the dome. It's easier that way. It's a little more
Well,
authentic too.
since we went live tonight, I'm probably gonna skip the podcast.
2 and 1, two birds with one stone. I gotta upload
um,
the next episode tonight, anyways, so we got some time.
I gotta think about it. I might just do it later. Um, no, man, this is awesome.
Take this. Take
We're
this.
gonna be expanding, doing this. Should I? Let me see if I can bring it up. I can promote us. If you just want to talk about it, I'll actually try to bring up the website.
Yeah.
Um,
So come find us on Spotify. It's the Aspire Beast Council podcast. We just released our first episode last week, so go check that out. The second episode is it going on tonight after this live broadcast wraps up. We'll be uploading that. Also, take a look at our socials. So, Aspire Investing, Aspire Beast Council on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. What else are we on? YouTube. We're on YouTube too.
we're on YouTube. I gotta do
So
a better
take a look
job
at
of that.
those. Look us up. If you have any other questions, you're interested in some of the things that we're doing, you want to get involved with our community. It's small, but it's growing and it's powerful. And the more people that we bring into it, the stronger the community and the more things that you as community members can do, along with us. Yeah, there it is. So this is our landing page here, just recently updated. So Aspire Investing. So we've got everything from our one-off services to our school platform with all of our educational content, which I think we should link our socials on here too as the next iteration of this.
Yep. And this is the one I got to give you that I was telling you about. So this one has the more updates, but I saw I got to put the links to it. So
Okay.
obviously, some of the things that we're offering, just let
Yeah.
everyone know that we are here with you on your journey. Like I said, our mission is to build a self-sustaining real estate ecosystem where those willing to learn, execute, and grow can create real, lasting wealth for themselves, their families, and their communities. We are turning ambition into assets and effort into legacy. We're built on four engines. Here we go, one ecosystem. Um, Even though he's gonna partly be giving up his brokerage, that is where this is all came from, right? It was recognizing the inadequacy from the
It's okay.
transaction, but also
I'll
knowing
still be
that
involved in all of
this
it.
is where it starts, though, right? It does starts with the transaction, right? Even though there's some things before it, and those are the things that we do offer, and I know me going forward, that's what my brokerages will be offering is the underwriting, helping investors understand what they're buying, sourcing deals, putting deals together. Um, but we want to hold your hand through that part of the process, right? And number two, which to me is what this is really all about, and that's building wealth. And from our philosophy, it's the value add opportunities. So
Mm-hmm.
if you just buy something and hold it, obviously you can make money, but it's the forced appreciation and buying right, obviously using the resources to improve the property. So from fix and flips to new construction, um, we know that's how you build wealth, and creating deals from that standpoint. Third is our education ecosystem. So I'll just jump and
Yeah,
go.
show the school page
Yep, going right here. Boom.
so they can see all the things that we've got here.
So this is our community. Obviously, we are engaging with our community in here with our different, um, I guess, what do you call it?
They're forums,
Yeah,
boards,
different
conversation
forums and
boards.
things of that nature. Um, and then we have our classroom. So obviously, in September, we are putting on our free 90-day accelerator program. Get you your first or your next deal in 90 days.
Yep.
We're doing it free. So sign up, DM either one of us September, and we'll take it from there. But also, if you become part of the school, we give you access to this education to help you along your journey.
And these are all tiered based on experience and difficulty, right? So obviously you can see they go from levels 1 to level 9, so no one's starting at level 9. Everyone's starting at level 1 because you got to master the basics before you can get even further. And you see a couple that are, separate other courses that are all included to, anything that doesn't have a, you know, price tag on it is included in the membership. So, the real estate law, financing, capital structure mastery, those are one-off courses, but they still have levels tied to them because they have a certain level of complexity to them that it's not going to really benefit you or make a lot of sense until you're at least at that minimum level, so where you can understand the things you're reading.
We also have teaching agents, right? We were talking about that, agents that want to work with investors and they want to become investors themselves. So we have
Yep.
a tailor-made program for that as well. Obviously, we through Next Home, we have a launch your real estate career, help you get your real estate license.
Yep.
We also have a program where you can study with them, and then um, you also can connect with us. So obviously, us having certain knowledge and can demand certain amounts, you gotta pay time to be hang out with us.
Yeah,
That's
unfortunately,
me being tongue in cheek, but obviously we do this for a living. So there's things that we
if we could
will.
work for free, we would. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
unfortunately, like I said before, the more we have, the more we can help. So
yeah.
it's not that that this is just going to fund vacations and lavish lifestyles. This is to help develop our communities, to put more back into AspiRE and into the members, into building this organization and this community across the country and across the world eventually.
And as you can see, our calendar, we try to fill it up with activities and things that we're doing. So obviously, we want to engage with our community. We want to ensure that you're getting the most out of this because we live this, right? And not everyone lives it. So we are trying to open that door for those individuals who want to take advantage
Yeah.
of it, right? I know I'm selling the dream to people that, hey, you love being whatever you're doing, but even though you love what you're doing, you should still invest in real estate because you want to go on the trips, right? As I always say, hey, you want the new car, let's go get the duplex, right? If you want to
You
go
want
on
your kids' college paid for.
buy the 4 unit. If you want to go on a couple more vacations, buy the triplex. If you want the mini mansion, buy the 6 unit. Right. So we're not sitting here saying real estate has to be the thing you love to do, but you should definitely still have it part of your life. I know
It
that I
can
do with
open up
my
your
kid.
lifestyle.
Yeah, I do this with my son. I bring him with me. It's not that I want him to be a broker. I just want him to know like he's gonna need to understand real estate because that is what's going to be paying for a lot of things in his life. And when
Yep.
I'm not here, he needs to understand how to take it over. But
Yeah.
so we have that, and obviously, these are the different levels you get. So obviously, 29 just gets you access to this meetup and the community and the discussion channels and resources. So we do have certain tools that we use because we're in the real estate that we give exposure to.
Yep.
um, Premium gets you access to all the levels 1 through 6. It gets you into our 90-day program where um, you study at your own pace, um, but get you all the courses and podcasts and things of that nature, and our weekly deal analysis library and templates. And then we obviously have our VIP where
This
that's
one's a little unique in that
yeah,
Phoenix is not the same as the rest of the beast levels. It's for someone who wants to basically do what we're doing right
yeah,
now. Help other people and educate and teach other people.
yeah. And they have a small portfolio and they kind of prove themselves. So yeah, you kind of got to pay to
Yep.
have
But
access to that because we're trusting you, and then there's other things
we're
you're going to
giving
be open.
you the brand name too to go start a chapter house, so to speak, of Aspire in your own hometown, your own region,
Yes.
to build your own communities. So part of that comes with just knowing that you have those skills and the expertise, but also that, you know, this is the thing that we've built and we want to make sure it's done exactly the same way. And obviously, more of it comes back to Aspire, which means it goes back to the community. So
Yeah.
it's coming full circle, which is great.
Full circle. That's how we work. With that, the other things that we offer from the Aspire calculator, which that's also part of what you get from here. But with us, we do offer a monthly membership for Aspire Reports. So if you are actively searching or you are wanting to get better at this and wanting to look over actual real deals and getting a full report, we do offer this. And all of these will come with Aspire Council. So you get the membership for the reports. We will give you the membership to Aspire School. We got 4, we got 10, and we got 30. And obviously, these are reports that you can literally say, I can write, does this match what I'm doing? Is this what I need to know to make my deal? Like what we're always trying to do is lower the risk so you can make the right decision, right?
Yep.
And these reports do. I don't want to say you guarantee you anything, but you will have the information you need to know to make the right decision. That's
Yeah.
best for you.
Well, seeing as we're at the hour mark, we should probably close out.
So there you have it, our first one. That was not supposed to just be all that. It was supposed to be us too.
There we go.
Screen, but
Oh, yeah.
um, yeah, man. So this is the first one of online. We recording it. We will chop this up. It'll be going. It's already live, so but we will, um, put this on Spotify, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll
Uh,
make it a podcast episode. Why not?
there you
It's
go. Well,
valuable educational content.
I think every time we talk is educational.
I'm always learning something new.
All right. Well, this is our first meeting. Stay tuned. Changes are happening, but same focus, same drive, same execution. Um, Devin, I guess, do you have a sign off you want to go with?
Aspire for more.
Oh, I like that. I'm Charles Anthony D. Clark. I'm your real estate investment broker here with another bright idea.